Today, we're diving into one of the most powerful allegories you'll find anywhere, Lehi's vision of the tree of life. It's an incredible story about choice, temptation, and what it takes to hold on to faith. So let's jump right in. So it all kicks off with these words, spoken by a father, a patriarch named Lehi. And you got to picture the setting here. This is a Jewish family around 600 BCE, and they're traveling through this harsh, unforgiving wilderness along the shores of the Red Sea. So this isn't just some abstract story. It's presented as a deeply personal, divine message given to a father who is really worried about his family's future. So what we're going to do here is walk through this vision piece by piece. We'll unpack its powerful symbols and really get to the heart of why this story is considered so foundational. Now, remember, this whole thing is told through Lehi's eyes. Sure, it's a prophet's dream, but at its core, it's also about a father's deepest hopes and, his deepest fears for his own kids. The vision kicks off, and boom, Lehi finds himself totally and completely alone. He's lost. The text describes it as a dark and dreary wilderness, which is just this perfect image of feeling confused, isolated, and spiritually cut off. So how does his journey even begin? Well, first, a guide. A man in a white robe shows up and just tells Lehi to follow him. And this is kind of strange, the guide leads him into an even darker space, a dark and dreary waste. After what feels like hours stumbling around in total blackness, Lehi just hits a breaking point. He stops and prays for mercy. And that prayer, well, that's the real game changer. Because right after that moment of desperation, a little glimmer of hope appears, and it becomes the absolute focus of the entire vision. After praying, Lehi sees a large field, and right in the middle of it is a tree with this brilliant white fruit. He goes over, he eats it, and listen to how he describes it. It wasn't just tasty. He says it was the sweetest, most joy-inducing thing he had ever experienced in his entire life. And think about what he does next. His soul is filled with, in his words, exceedingly great joy. But his first instinct isn't selfish at all. It's to share it. He desperately wants his family to feel the exact same way he does. Okay, but here's the catch. Getting to the tree? Yeah, it's not that simple. The vision then introduces two absolutely critical symbolic elements that really define the whole journey: a guide and a massive obstacle. First up, the guide. Lehi sees this rod of iron running right along the bank of a river, and its purpose is crystal clear. If you follow it, it leads you straight to the tree. The fact that it's iron is so important. It's strong, it's unbending, it's totally reliable. It's not a flimsy rope, it's a fixed, unmoving guide. And right alongside that iron rod is a straight and narrow path. Now, that word straight, S-T-R-A-I-T, is key. It doesn't just mean straight like an arrow. It means tight, constricted, narrow. It suggests there's not a lot of room to mess up, but it is the most direct way to get to that tree. And then, the obstacle. A thick, heavy mist of darkness just rolls in and completely swallows the path. It's this powerful symbol for all the trials, confusion, and doubt that can just blindside us. Suddenly, people who are heading for the tree can't see a thing. Not the tree, not even the path right under their feet. And they start to wander off and get lost. So, Lehi's watching all this unfold, right? He sees these huge, numberless crowds of people all trying to get to the tree. And he watches as they sort themselves into a few different groups, all based on how they react to that mist and that iron rod. This right here is the critical test. The first group, they start on the path, the mist hits, and they just get lost and wander away. The second group is fascinating. They make it. They hold on, they get all the way to the tree, and they even taste the fruit. But then, something makes them feel ashamed, and they leave. It's only the third group, the ones who continually hold on to that rod no matter what, who not only get to the tree but actually stay there, ignoring all the noise from the outside. So that begs the question, right? What on earth could make that second group so ashamed? And this brings us to the final and maybe the most intimidating image in the whole vision. I mean, it's a huge question, isn't it? You've achieved the goal, you tasted the fruit that filled Lehi with exceedingly great joy. So why in the world would you feel ashamed of that? Lehi looks around and then he sees it. Across the river, there's this massive, impressive building. But here's the weird part. It's floating high up in the air like it has no foundation at all. It's this perfect symbol for the pride and the philosophies of the world, things that look impressive but have no real substance. And it is packed with people dressed in really expensive clothes. And this is what the building is for. The people inside aren't doing anything productive. They're just mocking and pointing their fingers at the people who are sincerely trying to eat the fruit. It's that social pressure, that ridicule, that causes the second group to feel embarrassed and walk away from the very joy they had just found. The vision ends by bringing this whole grand, symbolic scene right back to where it all started, Lehi's very personal concern for his own family. After all that, it really comes down to a single number: 2. Lehi looks and sees his wife, Sariah, and 2 of his sons, Nephi and Sam, and they make it to the tree with him. But 2 are missing. His oldest sons, Laman and Lemuel. They won't even come near it. They just stand off in the distance, refusing. And this, right here, is the gut punch of the whole story. More than the crowds, more than the symbols, the vision ends with Lehi's deep paternal fear for his 2 sons who rejected the tree. He's terrified that they're going to be lost forever. When you really boil it all down, Lehi's dream presents us with a fundamental conflict. On one side, you have a difficult path that leads to a profound personal joy, and on the other, you have a big, fancy building filled with a mocking crowd. It really forces you to ask yourself, where do we see that exact same choice in our own lives today?